meeting to order. 2 minutes late, Joe Bird. Joe, would you do the invocation?
Most gracious Heavenly Father, we just thank you for today. We thank you for beautiful weather we're having. We just thank you for opportunity to serve our nation. Guide and lead us in our decision making, dear Lord, and we just thank you for all the blessings upon our nation. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Roll call, Shelley.
Miss Bannon. Denise Taylor.
Here.
Keith Austin.
Here.
Gil England.
Honey.
Charlie Buzzer. Joe Bird.
Honey.
Sean Crittenden.
Honey.
Mike Dobbins.
Here.
Hayden Duncan.
Honey.
Wanda Hatfield.
Honey.
Rex Jordan.
Here.
Lee Clay.
Here.
Mike Shambach.
Here.
Mary Bakershaw.
Honey.
Joe Smith. Victoria Vespucci. David Walkenstick.
Honey.
Ryan Warner.
Honey.
Okay, well, I need the February 28th minute approval.
Motion.
Second.
Not a motion, someone help me out. Motion and a second, all those in favor? Any opposition? Okay, now let's go down to reports, and I saw Sean here. Tell us what's going on.
Good afternoon. We'll start with our financial report. We had a really good January. We had a good February, somewhat short. I think I mentioned last time the tax returns were delayed. I looked at the numbers for March and we're well ahead of where we thought we would be in comparison to last month for the month of March. So I think it was just a matter of some of the timing issues that were there. Our diversified businesses continue to rock and roll. We have analyzed the impact of the shutdown for January and February, and we estimate that it cost us about $3 million in revenue. Be less, on the bottom line, but certainly I give them credit for doing all they could do to minimize that and to go forward. I was in a meeting this morning. They did say so far this week they'd won an additional $45 million in contracts just for this week. So things are looking up there, and appreciate the hard work. They're really expanding and making an imprint and a name for the Cherokee Nation out there. The Hard Rock expansion is pretty much complete. We'll now move into the reface and remodel on the exterior for Hard Rock. That'll be done in two phases, and should be complete within a year. It's about a year process to get all that done, colors changed, and freshen up that property that's over 10 years old in some instances there. Still working on the museum at the courthouse. We've heard great things about that. Celine's got started, and I think they're working on the caretaker's house now. Tahlequah Casino, if you've driven by, is really looking good. That's May 1st opening. They're on target to do that. And then May 15th, we'll have the Bassmasters fishing tournament weigh in and things there. I think that'll be a good event for the city. We undertook a project to try to make sure our employees and guests are safe during inclement weather, and by providing some additional tornado shelters, and we're well underway on that process. I know we have some in. I don't know for sure how many, but I think both the employees and the guests appreciate those efforts. So that's my report today. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
I understand you've just completed your independent audit also, and that BKD signed off on it. Everything's good?
Yes, ma'am. It was a very good report.
Go ahead, Sean.
Sean, can you update? We got I guess it was yesterday is when I seen it on the Polk County.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give a rundown on that?
Yeah, Polk County is about the same as what it has been all along. The Polk County residents are split 50-50. Half of them want a casino, half of them don't. The judge that was elected in January, or I guess November, campaigned on the promise that he would not sign a letter of support for anyone, and he's sticking to that. Johnson County to the west and Conway County to the east both want a casino, and so I believe yesterday they introduced legislation, or I'm not real sure how that process works over there, to have the legislature have a vote to change a constitutional amendment, to move it to either one of the three counties instead of just Polk County. And that came out of committee. I understand that's going to a floor vote today. A lot of people would like to see it happen, and a lot of people over there don't. We're not in that politics over there. Arkansas, we feel like, deserves the right to run their state the way they want to. And we're not taking a position either way. There is a group out there that hates to see the legislature be able to overturn a constitutional amendment. So they feel like that might be a slippery slope for every amendment that's out there. And so they're pushing back against that. We understand they're going to take a vote, maybe today, maybe next week, maybe never, I guess. But we'll see what happens with that. If they do approve that, then that would open the door for a casino either in Polk County or Johnson County or Conway County. And those operators that had a letter of support from that county judge would then go before the Racing Commission, and the Racing Commission would make a decision about who to issue that fourth license to. But it would only be in one of those four counties. And that thing changes every day, every hour, it seems like. I appreciate the team that's working on that, and Chuck Garrett, and all the time that we're spending over there with them. And we'll just see what happens.
Is that dollar amount, is it confidential right now, that what they would expect us to invest, that dollar amount confidential?
I think the license fee is, for anybody that applies, is $200,000, and then I think if you don't win, you get $100 back. So, to my knowledge, that's the only fee that's out there at this time.
What stood out is just our next decision point, deciding whether we should pursue it. We would need to present a casino proposal requiring an investment of approximately X amount to compete. It was a pretty big number.
I guess I'm not understanding what you're asking.
Okay. Well, I don't guess it's confidential, but said we would need to present a casino proposal requiring an investment of approximately $200 million to compete. And that number stood out in my mind, $200 million.
Yeah. Well, I think what you're referring to there is that Gulfside, which is one of the four operators that we understand are interested, Katua's, Choctaws, Warner Gaming, the Cherokee, and one other one that slips my mind, have all been in contact with Polk County officials to ask about getting a letter. Gulfside actually put what they wanted to build in Polk County out on the website, and it's a $250 million offering that they're proposing. Of course, if we decide to do a license, it's always based on a feasibility study of what the market size is, what we think it'll support, and I don't think have finalized what we think.
You just keep us up to date on that one.
Sure.
And Speaker Burden and I requested he said he's going to get us some information on the process at CNI. in the last council meeting. I hadn't received that, and the speaker said he hadn't either.
Well, I'll get with the speaker after this and we'll work that out.
Work out whether he's got it or not, or
I may have sent it to Gail instead of him, I don't know. I'll
but you did send it.
yeah, I sent something.
All right, thank you.
Counselor Shaw.
Sean, would Conway not be a better choice? I mean, it would put us probably an extra 75 miles further east than it would have been in Russellville, which put it further away from our casino in Siloam.
Right.
Not Siloam, is it Siloam?
Yeah, there's
Roland.
there's-
But it also take distances from the one at Oaklawn in Hot Springs. I think that, I mean, is that a better choice?
Well, certainly each county that they have named as a possible site has pros and cons. And there's some pros for being in Conway, and then there are some cons as well in terms of whether or not that would meet some opposition or things. So it's a complicated situation over there. And we don't want to offend any county by saying this or that, but we're trying to respect the will of the people over there wherever they decide that they want that fourth license. And if they do decide they want a fourth license, and our studies show that it would be good for the Cherokee people and Cherokee businesses, then we'll talk about proceeding with the license application.
I wanted to ask one other question.
Sure.
Are there any plans in the horizon to put some type of a business? I know we have businesses all over the country. Is there any plan to put businesses more in jurisdiction, any immediate plans or?
In the 14 counties, we're looking every day for those opportunities, yes. Every time we find one, we take a look at it
And see if it could be
and
placed
see
there?
if it's possible, yeah,
I'm glad to hear that. Thank you.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Is Oaklawn corporate owned, or is it still, I think, was it private? or is it-
It's a private company,
It is
privately
private,
held,
okay.
family out of St. Louis.
I think I would say that, not, and maybe the elder had passed away, and I didn't know, and I'd heard it had gone to corporate, but it's still private.
I think it's still in the family.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Counselor Warner.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Chair. Sean, I just wanted to give a little comment on the VA project in Sequoia County. City of Southside went yesterday, you probably saw this in the Tulsa World, and the federal government has decided to fund that project so we can start moving forward. I just want to say thank you to your team and Chuck Garrett and Diane and Chief and everybody and EO and everybody here that has been a part of that. I think it's a good team effort all the way across the board in the entire county. You know, it wasn't just one little entity or one group that put that together, but it just shows you in a county of our size what can be done when everybody is pulling in the same direction. So I just want to say thank you.
Tell them how many jobs.
Estimated 300 jobs. It's a 175-bed nursing home facility. So there's always, everybody says VA clinic. It's a VA nursing home facility that's coming in. So you know, a lot of good things, and I think that will help. That's also something that will spur other economic development projects across. I've already had people approaching me about stuff in Vian, about stuff in Roland, about stuff in Muldrow, not just South, so mainly those other communities that are really close by. People are looking at doing different things. So I think it's a win-win for the entire county, and you know, I want to say thank you to Cherokee Nation and Councilman Smith for partnering up.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Go ahead.
Hey, Brian. Man, Charlie spearheaded that thing, the nursing home deal.
Well, just worked with the group from Southall and everybody. When the RFP came out, they approached me and then asked me to, you know, approach our entities and different things and just different ideas of how we come in and how can we secure that. Because when you went for this proposal, it was one, they had a 90-mile range radius on this. So anybody within that big pie any town that felt like they wanted to put that proposal in, they could. So we went up against 5 other towns, and namely McAllister, Muskogee, Poto, Holdenville, Southsaw, and all those were involved in that. And when we went and put this proposal together, as far as the city, I have to, Keith Skelton, city manager, George Borman, Robin Haggard, all of those that were involved, we come together with other people that have been on city council and across we put together you got 80 pages to put, and you had 10 minutes to present, just like everybody else did, to the Veterans Commission, which is it's somewhat like this body right here. And that's what, then they came and did, they've narrowed it down to 3, and they came and did site visits. We met with the different individuals on the commission, and then they went back and voted how they seemed fit. So,
The VA.
the VA, the ODVA, Oklahoma Department of Veterans Affairs. So it's a state-run facility, but the project is funded from the federal level. So they dropped those federal funds, and they're coming in, they're getting ready to
How
do
do
it.
they do in Oklahoma? Just that?
Oh, no, there's several other facilities there, but then, you're looking, that's what they're wanting to, not to speak out of turn for General Elliott and Major Kinstall, but they've got some other projects that they're wanting to do. But they're not looking to build anything else new, but they'd like to renovate and stuff, but they're at the mercy of federal funding as well, so. Yeah, Claremore, there's one, you got several others,
Norman, Sulphur.
yeah.
It's amazing, that nursing home stuff.
Well,
That's
Well,
neat.
and it was relocated, and it's, not without controversy of moving it from a community, but, it wasn't that we prompted any of it at Sequoyah County and Southsaw or any other towns that were involved. There was a proposal put out, so even Tallahena, where it was at, had the opportunity to put together a proposal and so forth. We were just, we just looked at our area and said, what can we do? And it was it's tough when you look at, you've got Poto and Southsaw that were so close, and yet some of the things that were there, like Carl Albert State College, were in both places. So we took a stance of being neutral on that and offering up, because they're going to need nurses, they're going to need things. So it was
What was the nation able to do with it?
money to purchase. We, along with the Economic Development Authority, SIC in Southsaw, and several banks and other private entities, put together a proposal to buy that land. And then Councilman Smith and I, we put our noggins together and come up with some roads money and infrastructure that's earmarked specifically for one part of the project. The money from the tribal side, from C and B side, is up to a certain amount that is earmarked for purchase of that land.
That's amazing, man. Congratulations.
Well, I said all along, I think right now, the entire Sequoyah County, Cherokee Nation, everything, I ask you to prepare your hearts for something that's coming that's special. And at the heart of our proposal was the veterans. What's best for the veteran? It wasn't about the employees. I mean, it is about the employees, but at the end of the day, those employees say what's best for the veterans, and there's money incentives for those employees that work in talent to relocate if they wish and stuff like that. And we were mindful of those things as well, but I think at the end result of what we presented was partnerships across the board, but, what's best for our heart was in it for the veterans. If we didn't get picked, then we move on to a different proposal, something else that comes up, but,
So Cherokee Elder veteran will have a nice facility.
Yeah,
Not just
and I don't
Cherokee,
know.
not just Cherokee.
Right,
but,
right.
I mean, thanks, you're gonna help.
Oh, I would say so. Yeah.
I'll get his
Well,
phone
and
number.
I'll say this, that I applaud
I think we got a
Barbara.
match going on here.
I applaud Barbara Foreman already and her group over there, because during Valentine's Day, and this was a big part of the proposal, during Valentine's Day, they took Valentine's down to Tallahena already, so I think, preparing, and, that's some of the things that we added to it, that touch of the heart, from here, so.
Thank you.
Okay, our speaker has a comment to make.
Yes, Gail has that report.
Thank
That's my fault.
No
So it's
problem.
ready to be distributed, Counselor Critton.
I
Thank
thought
you,
I may
sir.
have not hit send. I knew I wrote it.
Yes, you did. So I just got to hit send. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else?
Thank you.
All right, Sean, we appreciate you. See you in a couple weeks. Okay, brings us to our treasurer, Lacey Horn.
Good afternoon, everyone. So our financial statement audit for FY18 is wrapping up this week. I had hoped that we would have it done for you today, but it's going to be tomorrow. So we will deliver that by next month, and if, Madam Chairwoman, would you allow BKD to be here to present, and I'll go ahead and get that on their calendars as well. And the never-ending cycle of life, we'll start the FY20 budget process next month, early next month. So with that, I'll be happy to take any questions that you all might have.
Okay. Oh,
Anything we want on that budget needs to be submitted fast.
Yes. So
What will be a deadline?
the deadline is, I can't give you a date, but it's usually in May, mid-May.
We got a work group going and some other different things, so mid-May. Thank you. Thank you.
stick around for the budget mods, please.
Absolutely. Happy to.
All right,
Thank you.
Diane, you brought backup today. You brought backup today.
Oh, yeah. I brought lots of backup.
Do you want to tell us why you brought your entourage?
Well, I think it's important that when you have new employees that start to work for the Cherokee Nation, that they know how the government works. And one of the best ways is for them to come in here and listen to you guys. No offense.
None taken.
I hope I picked a good day. I hope I did. But they need, well, you know, some of these people are very familiar and then others are not. And they don't know who their district council member is either. So I thought this was a good way. I would like to say good afternoon, Madam Chairwoman and Speaker Byrd and Executive and Finance Committee members. March has been a good month. It's been exceptionally busy. We've been trying to get programs rolled out and trying to get staff hired and trying to get those services out there to our Cherokee people, because that is one of the things that I feel very passionate about, because, you know, I was a product of the welfare system myself, growing up in Georgia and then coming to Oklahoma. I feel like I came out on the Trail of Tears myself when I was a young kid. And I think that it's important that if we've got services and we've got programs, that we get those rolled out as soon as possible so that we can help the people that need the help. I would, if I could, Madam Chair, introduce these people.
I would like for you to.
I've got several people here, and as I call your name, stand up.
Are these new employees or just?
They are new employees.
Wow.
I've got a brand new manager, and she is not new to the Cherokee Nation. She's been working in our Tulsa office. She's from the Wagner area. Shauna Miles, she's the new program manager for our opioid grant. And she
got your
comes
work
to
cut
us
out
from
for you.
the American Red Cross, and she's got quite a background in health, so we were very fortunate to get a Shauna. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
And then I've got Nancy Davidson from Peavine.
Hey, now.
And she is working out of our Tulsa office. She's a career specialist out of our Tulsa office. She's worked in temp services for a number of years, so we felt very fortunate to get Nancy. Susan Thompson, Prior Office career specialist. And she's working out of our Prior office, and she works the northern counties. And then I've got Anne Marie Broad, and Anne's been over in our testing center, and now she is working with Ben Barnett on the life skills. With the new grants, we've hired 2 or 3 new life skill coaches, and they'll be working with all of our clients and all these programs to get them where they can go out on their own and interview for jobs on their own. So that's one of the things that she'll be doing, is working with them on their resumes and doing classes with the clients. The other new life skills coach is in our Stillwell office, and she works Stillwell Salisaw, and that is Courtney Jones. Courtney, are you back there? Right here. And then George Roach has a new counselor. We finally have a new counselor in Stillwell, and Faye tells us after summer youth she may go home, and we were very fortunate to get him. He's working, he's been working in Indian child welfare, is that correct?
Yep.
Stand up and take a bow, Robert Fortier.
Yeah, right.
And he's from the, I believe he's from Marietta, Fairfield area? Okay, all right. Then we've got Crystal Lofton in our Claremore office. She works with our, she's a disability resource navigator, and she works for the Disability Employment Initiative Program. And then, let's see, who else? Did I forget anybody besides Liza? Okay, Kelly Little. She works in our Salisaw office, and she's from Vian. Salisaw. Okay, she's from Salisaw. And she's a career specialist for our TEP program. Yes. That's the program that's working with people that are being laid off and that have been on long-term employment,
I got it.
unemployment.
I told Kelly I wouldn't do this. Kelly, where can we get some good barbecue at? So, all right.
Okay. Miss Liza Kingston, I want to introduce her. Liza is a clerk in our Stillwell office. She's been a program participant, but she's on staff. And Jeff Vance and George nominated her for the outstanding employment training participant at our national conference that's coming up in Durant in about 3 weeks. And she was the top honor student at our GED graduation this past September. We got notification last week that she will be recognized at that banquet as the top participant in the nation.
Wow.
And then I have a new special projects person in my office, and he came over from Deborah's shop. He was a budget analyst, and now he's special projects, and I've already thrown him out there, thanks to Todd. This is Austin Patton, and Austin is going to be working with the census and coordinating that and helping to recruit for the census. He's also going to be in charge of all of our community meetings, so when you contact us about having career services there, Austin will be coordinating that with all of our offices. And then he's also going to be responsible for the resource tent for the Stillwell Strawberry Festival coming up. That's a big chore. Well, he's marrying a girl from Stillwell, so I told him he needed to get over there and learn what to do.
Hey, Diane,
Yes.
may be off topic, but does all the Stillwell folks register to vote?
Sean, of course they are.
All right, we get in trouble.
Are there any at-large out there?
Wanda was doing it at large. Okay, did I miss anybody?
Who's the guy in the red shirt back there?
The guy in the red shirt. Oh, well, we forgot him.
See, I didn't.
I know you did. Danny McCarter. Danny's the new counselor in our Tahlequah office.
Yeah.
And he's working with Jeff and George up at Southgate.
You gotta remember him, he can blow gun, he'll hit you.
Yeah, he will. Welcome, Danny. That is pretty
I'm
much.
just being modest. The rest of us also work for it too.
Well, that's a good crowd.
You can stay, or you can go back to your offices, because I know you're real busy. We've got,
You ever seen him shoot a blowgun?
About to drop my
what? Okay. As I told you, Austin's going to be doing the special projects, and we're still holding health recruitment fairs, and your monthly report has old recruitment fairs, and we have a sheet that I'll get to Gail and send this out so that you'll have it. We can send it by email so that you'll know about these recruitment fairs that we have going on. It just didn't make the report because they were being held later. We have staff that just got back from the Washington National Workforce Conference. It's an event that's held annually. There's about 3,000 people that are there, and we're basically the only Indian tribe that attends.
Wow.
And they're always glad to see us. Very few Indian tribes work with the state. We work with them very well. And then I've got staff that will be attending the National Employment and Training Conference coming up in Durant. This is the 40-year anniversary. And I have to plug this. I started that thing back in 1978. I got $10,000 from the Department of Labor to start it, and it's been going on for 40 years. So I thought that was quite an accomplishment. I want to remind you, Stillwell Strawberry Festival's coming up May the 11th. Forms will be coming out. I'll get them to Gail if you want an entry in the parade. You better get it in early. I think Ralph King does the lineup. And Deborah said to tell you that 40 letters went out to schools for bands to participate in the Cherokee Holiday Parade. We'll be giving out $300 for each band that's in our parade for the Cherokee Holiday. And she thinks that this will be the biggest parade that we've had. And Jeff said to tell you that Summer Youth deadline is April the 5th. It's coming up. Of course, we'll still take applications after the 5th, but it'll be a 2-page application and they'll be put on a waiting list. We do this for 8 weeks. Larry Daugherty has been working on a newsletter. We're sending out a newsletter to all of our clients to let them know about our various programs. It's going to look something like this. We'll send you a copy. It'll be in your monthly report next month. This was something that the funding agency suggested that we do for our clients that we're working with. So this will encompass all the programs that we have so that they know about the services that are available. We have well over 1,000 people that we're working with regularly, and I want to applaud Larry Daugherty. I also want to plug and applaud my former employee, Daryl Legg, who worked on that Veterans Center. Daryl's not with me anymore. He's working for Carl Albert, but he was very instrumental in working with us on that vet center. Boys and Girls Club and Backpack, we're still working on that. We still need some I-9s from the Backpack program. As soon as we get those, we'll be getting information out to you and trying to get those checks out before school ends. That's all I have. Oh, I have a directory. Somebody asked about who did what, where the offices were, who's where. This is a directory on all of our programs. Some of the people are blank because we don't have them on board yet. But this is a directory on all of our programs so that if you want to know who's heading up the reentry program, you want to know who's heading up the Job Corps program, you want to know who's over a GED, it's all right here. And I was told by J. Littlejohn that we left off all of his staff, and I said, well, you come up in education, so I'll take care of it then. And Hunter's people are not on here, and Marshall White's people, and we'll correct that. But you got everybody else.
Really do.
Diane, where does a person get the application for the leadership, the summer leadership?
They can get it from George Roach. He's in charge of it. Or you can get it at one of our offices. Our field office in Pryor should have it.
Counselor Hatfield?
Who is in charge of your reentry program again? Who is?
Matthew Lamont.
Lamont, okay.
He has an office in Jay, and he's down here in Tahlequah. He is from Little Kansas.
Okay.
Dover County.
If we receive a letter from an inmate,
You send it to Matt.
just send it to Matt?
Yeah,
Is
Matt
that for
Lamont.
does that?
Yeah, you can just
Go
send
for
it to
at
Matt, Matthew Lamont, just like CherokeeNet.org.
At
Just
large
send it to-
candidates?
Yeah,
I mean, not
yeah.
candidates, but inmates as well.
What
Okay.
he'll do is he'll put them in contact with a nearby reentry program in the
Okay.
area.
Okay.
Oh, you want me to mention you? Oh, Wanda's being nominated for Outstanding Alumni, by the way. For Stillwell High School.
I got a question.
Just a minute, Counselor Shambaugh.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
You're welcome.
Hey, Diane, is this your correct home phone number? Is that?
Hey, I will tell you this. My husband answers the phone. He's my answering service. And he
Actually,
looks at the numbers and he'll say, that's the chief, that's Kanan, that's Wanda. He knows the numbers pretty well.
I call
And
it.
then he'll say that's a robocall, so don't take it. I'm just kidding.
what I, actually, it's not really, this is a neat deal. I mean, I've been waiting for something like this.
I know there's two or three
Honestly,
that have asked for this.
yes.
So
I wish, and Kanan just said it too, can you do this for the whole nation, for everybody? That'd be wonderful. I mean, to have this for the whole nation, for every department, that'd be great, because especially when you're new coming in and you don't know anything, you know, this is wonderful. I've never been given anything like this, so.
remember, I just oversee career services.
That request has been made, how many years, Diane, for everyone?
A long time, a long time.
But only Diane's one of the few departments that comply.
Well, we appreciate this. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Diane, it's back to the Strawberry Festival. Could you tell me who might be playing at the bandstand?
I will be able to tell you probably in another week.
Well, I'll help you out. It's gonna be me and my family. Since we're doing the Strawberry Festival.
Well, I wasn't sure if I was supposed to announce that because they're working on the strawberry book and they don't have all the
We know
stuff
who
in
to
yet.
get with to line up.
No, I don't do the lineup. I announce. I announce.
Hey, can Sean be the grand marshal for the strawberry?
He's not 100 years old.
Hey, thank you for this, really.
You're
Yes,
welcome.
good job, Diane. Appreciate you.
And I know that all of you will be in that parade.
Yeah, I have one question. Talking to these Job Corps,
Yes.
is there a turnover rate going on over there with the staff? And Rick, here's my concern. This is what I heard: is that the students over there aren't being disciplined. They're getting by with a lot of things, and therefore they're running over teachers. And I when they was talking about this to me, I was thinking about our intent to retain Talking Leaves Job Corps students. And I knew that was a big thing because we don't want to get our Talking Leaves shut down because of lack of.
I will tell you this, we're number one in the state of Oklahoma. We're in the top 6 in the region. We have been since August.
Okay, well,
In terms of students, the center's been full since August.
I understand,
We
but
do
it's not-
weekly calls, and
it's
as
not
far
my
as
question.
turnover on the
Yes.
academic side,
No, with not academic, with staff, with teachers.
on the academic side. As far as I know, the teachers that we have been there for a long, long time.
Okay.
David Gord, Sandra Kaufman, Robert Vance. The only area that we've had a problem has been in our nursing area, and that's because some of them went to other jobs that paid a little more than what we did as far as teaching. But we've had a difficult time finding teachers in the nursing area.
So you don't perceive there's a problem with discipline over there with Talking Leaves?
You're always going to have some discipline problem, but you got to remember that our students are not your
I
run-of-the-mill
understand,
student.
yes.
They could be 25, 26 years old.
Yeah.
But
Well, I just want to be sure that we're creating a safe climate for students that may not have discipline issues, but they're just not traditional, they're just not good in the classroom, and then when they go over there, that they're feeling safe and secure over there.
David, we had to beef up our safety and security at the request of the Department of Labor. Department of Labor also installed cameras on that campus. They have cameras on all aspects of that whole campus, and they also have surveillance, and the kids have to go through that. They have to be wand, their backpacks, their books, whatever they do. There is a surveillance piece of equipment in all the dorms that they're checked in every afternoon when they come back from going on their shopping trips, or if they go down for the movies or whatever.
Sure.
And we also check the bags on Sunday when they come back from the weekend. So as far as safety and security, I would say that we have a very safe environment.
Okay. Well, again, I'm not over there, just want to bring it to your attention since you're over that, and if you need to look into it, maybe want to investigate, but if you're hands-on and you're saying there's not a problem over there with discipline and kids run over students and so forth, then I take your word on it, because I'm not there.
I appreciate your comments. I go over there as needed. I went over there on a Sunday afternoon for staff meetings to back up what is needed and what is being directed by the Department of Labor. I've gone over there at night at 10 o'clock and stayed till 1 in the morning to check out what's going on in the dorms when they change shifts. And I'm very hands-on, and I'm over there and I'm in contact with Mona and Jay regularly. In fact, I ate lunch with them today to talk about the conference call that we had this week with the Department of Labor. We have a new National Job Corps Director. Lenita Jacobs was on our conference call, and she's stepping down. She's going to go to work in ETA someplace other than Job Corps. We have a new Job Corps Director, and the announcement will be coming out next week on who that lady is. We were told this morning, I talked to Pete Calvo with Horizons Institute, and Pete told us that he was at the NJCH and he was having breakfast with them. So he was going to give me some insight on our new direction and what's coming down the pipe.
Thanks for that report today. All right, thank you, Chair.
Anything else for Diane?
Good job, Diane.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Sit up. And I'm gonna need you to, Diane, I'm gonna need you to stay around also.
Oh, okay.
Okay, is somebody here? Yes, there's Shay. I'm sorry, I didn't see you. Our audience is crowded today.
It was packed house. I'm sorry I didn't bring anybody with me. I feel a little alone.
I have no doubt you can handle it alone.
Thank you for having me. I would be happy to answer any questions. Just a couple of things I would like to announce, and that is the first traditional games will be held March 30th in Jay at the Jay Health Center this weekend. So those start at 10 o'clock. We'd love to see any and all of you there if you can make it. And just a quick little update about the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program. Through March 18th, our volunteers have provided tax preparation and filing services for over 1,200 families. And those 1,200 families have received over $1.9 million in refunds. So, exciting stuff.
Yeah.
So other than that, I don't have any other announcements, but I'd be happy to take any questions.
Anything for Shay? And they're going easy on you since you didn't bring it back up.
All right,
Good report.
thank you.
Keep it up. Appreciate what you guys do. Okay, moving down to consent items. Your tarot approvals and reapprovals are in your book. I would entertain a motion.
Second.
Got a motion and a second on the tarot approvals. All those in favor? Any opposition? Okay, you got a new community assistance list. Check it twice or wait till next
I
month.
have some changes and additions.
Okay, hang on, let me catch up to you here. Okay, go Jody.
For Counselor Anglin, the Sperry Senior Citizens Program is changing it from 1,000 to 2,000. And is also adding Tulsa Cherokee Community Organization for 2,000. And for Speaker Bird is adding $500 to the Grandview School.
Hey, I'm just gonna start right there. Sean, can you talk? Okay, Councilwoman?
Yes, ma'am. Jody, I need $1,000 to Roland Schools for the World's Robotics. And then Councilman Smith and I are gonna go $250 apiece to the Shed for Youth Services. And it's the Shed, serving him every day, is what that stands for. And then I think my Chamber of Commerce is already on there, so that's it.
Councilor Walking Stick.
Dry Creek for $1,000. Boone Baptist Church for $1,000. Sequoia Senior Trip.
Hey, slow down, David.
Okay, sorry. So Dry Creek.
Yeah.
Boone Sequoia High School for a senior trip, $1,000. 10 Killer School, $500. Woodall Fire Department, $500. The Heritage Center, $500. New Greenleaf Baptist Church, $500.
Who was that?
New Greenleaf. D.D. Etchison, $500. And then Johnson Prairie split 3 ways for $500. And then Woodall Public Schools split 3 ways for $1,500. And then add a $500 to Grandview along with Joe and Rex. So it'll be $1,500 between 3 of us. That's all I have. Thank you.
Sean, are you ready?
Yes, 500 Westville Little League. 515 Jeremiah Foundation.
Anybody else as we go on around?
Good.
Got law enforcement.
Go to 500 for Westville Little League and 500 for Stillwell Little League.
Counselor Hatfield?
$1,000 for high schools, Native American seniors recognition banquet. $250 Sulphur, Oklahoma High School. Actually, it's elementary. Thank you.
Okay, everybody good? So let's go ahead and vote. All those in favor with the additions? Any opposition? Okay. Brings us down to law enforcement.
I have some additions for law enforcement. All of these are split between Counselor Smith and Warner. 6,500 for all these cities and towns: Weber's Falls, Gans, Marble City, Diane, Briggs, Salisal, Muldrow, Rowan, Gore. And then 12,000 split also for the Sequoia County Sheriff, $12,000.
Braggs.
Miss Braggs?
No.
Go ahead and give the Briggs.
Oh, Braggs. Okay, that's Brian. I'm trying to read Brian's writing.
Yeah.
I should have known it was Braggs.
My bad.
I know that it's Braggs.
I have District 13 DA's office, 5,000.
Ready?
That's it. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Anybody else need to change their law enforcement? Okay, all those in favor? Any opposition? Moving on, let's do sports teams while we're on this. But there are quite a few additions, so I would encourage everybody to look over those. Be sure all your softball teams, or and baseball, I guess, are going to have the money they need to get started. So,
Make a motion to approve.
got a motion
Second.
and a second. All those in favor of the sports teams? Okay, there were two new livestock. Could you get a motion?
So moved.
And I have a second. Motion and a second on the livestock. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now that brings you to your roads projects that were in the book. And I would take a motion on those.
I'd like to add something.
Okay, go ahead.
I'd like to add 41,666 from motor vehicle tax to All Mall Parkway Extension, partnership between Verdigris and the Rogers County Commissioner.
Be sure to stop by for get all the details.
Did I get a motion? Shelley? Keith, would you go ahead and give me a motion so we can move forward?
Make a motion that we pass the all three roads funds as presented.
I got a motion and a second, Rex. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay, there's no old business, there's new business.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda, add an item.
Okay, and that was a resolution buried in paperwork here. And I can't find that resolution right now, but it has to do with career services. So, I need a second to amend. Okay, a motion and a second to amend the agenda. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposition? Okay, we'll make that number 3. So let's go with Keith. Would you introduce the capital budget?
Sure, on Mod 4. This is an act amending Legislative Act 21-18, authorizing the comprehensive capital budget for fiscal year 2019, Mod 4, and declaring an emergency, and I move for its approval.
Got a motion and a second on that budget mod. Any discussion on that? Nope. Let's move on. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay, and Keith, would you do the operating budget also, please?
I'd like to submit the substitute Mod 6A that's been handed out in replacement of Mod 6 that's in the book. It is an act amending Legislative Act 2218, authorizing the comprehensive operating budget for fiscal year 2019, Mod 6A, and declaring an emergency, and I'll move for its approval.
Got a motion and a second on the operating budget.
Madam Chairwoman,
Uh-huh.
has this got the marshals?
That is why there's a substitute mod. Came down, they finally got it hashed out yesterday.
Okay.
Wanted to get it before us as quickly as possible.
I'd like to be added as a sponsor, Cherokee.
I would too.
Rex and Counselor Walkenstick. And Counselor Shambaugh. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay, that passes, no problem. So this brings us down to the substitute. Kanan, would you introduce, or not substitute, the amended agenda item?
Yes, ma'am. This is a resolution authorizing the addition of grant-funded programs to the PL 102-477 plan. Put that in the form of a motion.
Second.
A motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Okay, that was easy. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay. By way of announcements, the next meeting is scheduled for Thursday, April 25th at 3 p.m.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion and a second. All those in favor of adjournment?
Molly.